are always going to have some kind of a majority advantage, either by your ethnicity or by religion or some other factors like that. But I do think that if you don't have it, if you don't have fairness and equity in how the most important office in the land is occupied, you are always going to have agitations. And let's also not forget that we have a history. We are coming from somewhere, the Civil War, and all of that. What I would like, honestly, is to put this, enshrine it in the Constitution, rotational presidency across the 6 geopolitical zones. However, it sounds to me like something that is not likely to happen anytime soon, considering how difficult it is to make even the slightest amendment to our Constitution. I think I even said this last week. Every amendment is met with serious uproar,
fierceness,
and at the end of the day,
fierce opposition.
Especially in a democracy like ours. So what I think will fly is that there should be some kind of a agreement, internal agreement. For instance, when the power comes out, there should be an agreement that, okay, let this geopolitical zone have it. When next it comes, this will have it after. It can happen even without, it being stipulated in the Constitution. If you don't do that, there is no way. Because you see, the concept of good governance and development is fluid and subjective. If you say, if you have all the good things, nobody will care. But people will be asking questions, why can't we also be there to implement these things? Of course, we know that you cannot come down to the lowest denominators because that's what he's saying, that, okay, then some people will say, why must it be always Ogun? Why not Ekiti? Why not Oyo?
Or people from Ila.
Or from Ila.
Yeah.
But you see, there is always a face. There's always a major face that you cannot overlook. And because you look at it, we have not elected any Southeasterner as president. Since 1999, we have not even had anyone as vice president.
Ojo Okalu says that much as well.
You can't overlook,
We've
this.
never had anybody from the middle belt too, have we?
You also cannot overlook that. But you see why it is difficult for those in North Central to push this agenda is that they are very diverse.
Okay.
They are just grouped together under a geopolitical zone, but they are very diverse.
How about the middle belt?
I'm talking about the middle belt.
Okay.
Those are, you look at the North Central because they are mostly in the North Central. You have Kogi, you have Kwara, you have Plateau, you have Nasarawa, you have Benue, you have Niger. These are different people, but you can't say the same thing of the Southeast.
No.
After all, when you break Nigeria down, you say Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, even though there are others as well.
Okay.
So it matters.
We can't overlook this pattern, this part you're saying. All right. So, but Michael, I will not belabor that. Chito Adio dropped another message, and it's pretty long, but I want us to interrogate it. He said, the question I have for Nigerians is simply, has there been any time where we had no one that fits the narrative of my guests? Now, why have these utopia candidates never won even their states or local government or even polling booths? Politics is not for ranters. It is hard work, long-term planning, and it is money and time consuming. If you are not ready to do the time, do not do the crime. If you are not ready to attend political meetings in uncompleted buildings, under rain and sun, you can't win political posts. Except people like Ashwaju will nominate you for what you do not deserve, because others that work for the party will be dropped for you. Ashwaju spearheaded the formation of 4 opposition parties for close to 2 decades before he won national election with APC. But elites on radio expect someone that can't even win election within his or her immediate family to come lead a country without any sacrifice. Keep dreaming or hallucinating. Those were his words. But I want to interrogate a few things there. Do you need to have a lot of money? Do you need to have put in a lot of hard work into politics? To attend meetings in uncompleted buildings
at ungodly hours.
Yes. Do we need to practice politics in that way?
Yes. You see,
because this speaks to the system that we have.
You see, there's something they call Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
I think to a large part, some of us have become that.
And glamorize that.
Yes, we are somehow in love
with those who are torturing
with our oppressors. Yes. And then we rationalize these things as if our own word is different. It is okay. You see, I may not want to say this really. You see, I'm a big fan of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I am a big fan of his intelligence, especially native intelligence, his pragmatism. He's a master strategist. But you see, I love Nigeria more. That's the truth. And I see the struggles that everyday people get to deal with. And I know that we are not getting the best deal from those we have put in leadership positions. We can do that. We didn't do well yesterday does not mean that we cannot do better in the future. There are some people I know today who have completely zoned out of this current administration. They are not even expecting anything. There should be something better to look forward to. You see, this thing we say, oh, it's the way it is. It shouldn't be like that.
It shouldn't normalize.
I want to bring Michael into it. Michael, I saw politics of compensation in this.
Yeah.
I saw money and power politics here in terms of the system that we operate. And it seems that that's the way it is. We may not be able to get out of this. That's what Chitu is saying.
I like his thinking. But you know the way I like to respond is I like to include myself also. That many of us who are under 50 in this country, we have never seen governance before. So, if you have never used Yorubas are very beautiful people, particularly with their language. They say if you have not been to another man's farm, you will beat your chest and say that your father owns the biggest farm. That's exactly what is playing out here. Tunde said Stockholm syndrome. You see, you are in love with. You see, when you go to the streets, and it's very correct. When you go to the streets and they begin to mention these people who are aspiring for office, you will say, because we have reduced governance to any lowo. We have reduced. We are not thinking about any Montonshe. For instance, the day we went to Akubo, there's this question I want to ask people who are fighting over politicians. They were saying that they should dualize that Akubo road. Since they dualized it, has it stopped traffic? No. We are voting for people who are doing cosmetics because it is easier for you to build road than for you to equip the classroom, because before you get the result, it will be 6 years before they pass common entrance and you say, oh, we have improved. It will take longer. See, I was thinking, now that we have expanded the road, has it stopped the traffic? No, it hasn't. Why? Because these people don't know governance. Governance is about solving problems, not doing anything. Anyhowness, according to apologies to Pius Adesomi, we are used to this anyhowness. I was saying that, okay, what if you put a train on that road? There are many people who want to buy bread at Bashorun, who are living in Akobo, who are going to drive their car. There are many people who are going to see friends, who are going to drive their cars. How about making Ajumoshe or whatever they call it now attractive enough for me to leave my car at home and enter? So if you have 200 cars on the road and there are 300 people in these 200 cars, how many buses will carry all of them? You see, we don't know because we are used to people sharing Okada. And we begin to say those who are talking on radio are elite. Well, I don't know about every other person, but I know that in this room, all of us in this room have seen how governance is, even in Ghana. So you begin, see, let's leave this 17th century type of thing alone, where people go to prayer mountains to pray for car. I was in Europe, a professor said he does not need a car. But in Nigeria, professors want to buy 4 cars. You see, we should begin to think like people who are...
I was going to ask the person.
It is a pedestrian mindset. You can't think above basics.
The United Kingdom, go and check, has one of the most expensive healthcare systems in the world for medical tourists. Somebody comfortably who has been governor will go for 6 months, hold up in an hospital, or receiving treatment in the UK, meaning that he does not have any confidence
in the system.
In the system here.
Even in the state is supposedly built.
The richest state in Nigeria by far. Can you afford that? I cannot afford it. So it is not a crime for me to dream of... I'm sure no American president will try that.
Go to Germany for
treatment. But our president goes to the UK for treatment. It's almost become a norm.
So that's what we are saying.
We can't be dealing
I think
with
the expectation is that.
Okay.
I think the expectation a lot of people have is that when crumbs are thrown at us, we should be thankful. And that's the issue. The issue there is, at what point are we going to understand that we need to go beyond the pedestrian?
Beyond the pedestrian.
We need to begin to think about things that really and truly matters.
What we are talking about...
Now, all of us in this room...
Tunde, hold on, just 1 minute. When we are saying that we need a president who sees the future, the picture that I have in my head is that a president who will be very angry that children are sitting on the ground in primary school. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a rich president. I am not looking for somebody who knows too many people. I'm looking for a president who will say, guys,
we cannot continue like this.
We have to change it. That's the president that I am looking for.
Okay. Gentlemen, thank you very much. What have we gained in the universal basics of housing, health, nourishment, education, and urban infrastructure? How have Lagosians' lives improved? That testifies to the quality of leadership Tinubu has produced. The failure of Lagos to live up to its potential should be a thing of shame for the city's administrators, not occasions for vain mythification. I did not write that, though, please. I'm just reading from Abimbola Adelakun's back page of the Punch.
See, I need us to look at some. I don't see a reason for which all the governors in Nigeria, including the president himself, to be medical tourists in Lagos, where the medical facilities are world class. If we haven't seen that yet, I don't think that there has been anything spectacular in Lagos.
There was a bill.
That's basic. The metro line, the red and the blue line they started in Lagos during the tenure of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has not been completed till today.
Let me say this.
So what's the noise about?
There was a bill brought up by a lawmaker, I think from Ondo State, on the floor of House of Representatives, that public office holders should not... it should become illegal for them to go out on medical tourism for ailments that can be treated in Nigeria.
They'll fight for their rights, I hope you know.
That they will need to get...
Special permission from the National Hospital that we can't treat this in Nigeria.
Let them go.
Okay.
It was unanimously shut down on the floor that day by all the parties.
Now, let's ask another beautiful question. The late Chief Lateef Jakonde was governor of Lagos State and put his kids in this Lagos public schools and used the Lagos public hospitals and built infrastructures that till today in Lagos have never been matched and have never been replicated.
Mm-hmm. Not by anybody.
I need to ask a question. Did we tout him for presidency because of that?
Okay, gentlemen, I have to stop you here. We have more time to talk about presidency and governorship, and I hope that will be this vigorous when we talk about governors.
Oh, of course,
coming in the next
we shall
election,
be waiting
as we pick on this one. So, gentlemen, you can rest assured that we will still revisit this issue. 0809 155 1055, 0805 699 8678. And 0706 949 3000. The next issue, we're not going to spend so much time on it, is this issue of Olubadan's tool. The governor dropped his own, his anchor. And he said that if a traditional institution must revert to its original concept. And he stopped there and said that he will uphold the position of the late Olubadan of Ibadan, what he stood for. And just today, I read from the Punch newspaper that the Otun Olubadan of Bagaland has said that they will abide by the governor's decision. Michael, some people have described the statement of the governor as being autocratic.
Oh, well.
That he should have allowed them to look at all the angles to the issues before coming out and say, revert, and that's it.
The governor is the governor. The governor is the governor. And don't forget that what he was talking, I don't agree that it was autocratic. It was basically speaking to, the issues on ground, particularly when you consider the fact that this matter had been an issue of litigation.
But is that not merit to the side of those who were wearing the crown? Considering the Baales who were elevated to become the king. I'm saying this because I know that once this reversal takes place, it's not going to exclude those Baales. It's also going to mean that the law or the gazette that gave them that right will have to be repealed.
Yes, that's basically what it means, because the governor was basically, my reading of what the governor said was basically saying we need to return to pre-2017 situation.
And some people have said that is also an attack on it's an opportunity for this government to revert whatever Ajibobi had done.
Well, you see, I don't want to put personalities into this matter. I want to say
that government. Okay, that government that's done. All right. So I'll agree with you.
I'm looking at the Gazette. This is the Gazette. Ibadan 24th August 2017, volume 24. Your State Gazette that that gazetted this matter.
Yeah.
I was thinking that, well, even though I don't think that the governor was autocratic, I think that since this matter has been a subject of litigation, that the governor should have sought more counsel. He has a very brilliant professor in his cabinet who is his attorney general, and so in fact there are many lawyers in his cabinet to have sat down to say, okay, what can we do? Can we go back to with a bill to repeal this law or something of that sort? I think that's what he should have done. But we are emotional people. When you visit the family of the bereaved, and you need to appeal. You need to, appeal to their sentiments and the rest of it. It was good. I listened to the speech, beautiful speech. I was even nodding and saying, oh, wow, okay, so the governor has spoken and the rest of it. But the point is that beyond the rhetorics, can we do the needful? I mean, particularly invite, I've not seen anywhere where it's reported that the governor invited these people to say, this is my state. I am in charge. Let's talk about this thing. Are there options? If there are options, let's pursue the options. Or should we also do the option of amending the law or something? It's something that they can do. I don't know that this is a subject of litigation and it has become a very complex matter.
Very, very complex.
Yeah, a very complex matter. Of course, the protagonists in this matter have said that, okay, they are ready to go back to. But just like you said, there are so many others who benefited from this.
There's a drop down.
Yes, if you like. I'm not sure how they want to resolve the matter, but I think that we should look at the options and sit down and say, okay, should we repeal this law, or should we go back to the judgment? Or should we go back to the, they call it consensual judgment? Which one should we do? Or should we go and withdraw the
Because the governor simply
appeal?
said that revert to the status quo before this situation.
I think the governor has been very consistent. I remember having a very brief interview with him before he became the governor. As a matter of fact, 2017, while all of this was on, and he stated clearly his opposition to the plan. In fact, one of the questions I posed was that, okay, the incumbent governor saying, Ibadan, people are pushing for Ibadan state. That's how can you have a state with just one monarch? And he said, well, Kano is a state and how many monarchs? At least at that point in time, Kano still had only one. Before
Ganduje happened to
Sanusi. You see, I don't think what the governor has done is autocratic. Michael has submitted a kind of recommendation which would be okay to, push forward a bill that will seek to repeal that. But again, you can also say simply just withdraw, because what it means is that once the elevated high chiefs withdraw the suits they have, all is settled. But you see, generally speaking, my disposition towards
chieftaincy matters.
I feel we have too many kings. Generally in Yoruba land, because these are people that we pay. Their office is not tenured, and they have essentially no role to play. So, that's in itself. So, I think the governor has spoken. The matter is resolved.
Okay, so
I think I'm more interested in the semantics of that statement. Did the governor say that they have to, or they will have to? Because it matters.
Do you want us to play the audio for you?
No, where I'm coming from.
I'll give you the audio.
Because where I'm coming from there is that the governor might say, "See, this is my position on this. We will go back and work on how that will be a reality if these people affected are willing to work with us." That is his own position. In which case, the Gazette can be redone. I think the people that have the biggest issues in this entire thing are the people that are entitled to the stool of the Olubadan.
Yes.
The Bales cannot be Olubadan anyway. So maybe another Gazette will be redone in such a way that would allow the Bales to have beaded crown, as they say, and those that are in line to the Olubadan. But there is always a question, which when I listened to Double A the other day, was when the Bales, was when the Olubadan council member says, okay, so we will no longer wear crowns. And then the Bales that will represent the Olubadan in their councils will now have beaded crown.
The chief
will pretend over kings.
The governor is not ambiguous by saying that they should revert to what they were pre-2017.
Everybody.
That's everybody.
So it means everybody.
Yes. Hold on. Listen to this.
So I'm here on behalf of the government starting. So I don't feel pain because Baba is stood for truth. Tí ó bá jẹ́ ipe bàbá dúró sídi òótọ́, wọn ò ní wojú ìjọba tó wà ń bẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ láti sọ pé nǹkan báyìí kò bójú mu ní Ìbàdàn. But Baba looked at power in the face. Wọ́n dẹ̀ sọ òótọ́ nítorí ọ̀rọ̀ traditional institution Ìbàdàn. Ibo ló fa gbogbo wàhálà yẹn. Ṣùgbọ́n lè ní ibùdó bàbá ò sí pẹ̀lú wa tí wọ́n dúró lé lórí ó wà pẹ̀lú wa. And finally, àwọn tí wọ́n ń lo pé kábíyèsí wájà tí wọ́n ń kọ́ sí trọ́pù káàkiri ìgboro ẹni báyìí ló kàn ẹni báyìí ni ò tí ì kàn wọ́n wà ní court wọn ò sí ní court. Let me state it clearly. Ibadan traditional institution must revert to its original concept. This is the last time tí controversy wà lórí ẹni tó kàn àti ẹni tí ò ti kàn láti gun orí ìtẹ́ Olúbàdàn. And as a government, I'm giving the assurance to gbogbo àwọn ọmọ bíbí ìlú Ìbàdàn àtàwọn olólùfẹ́ Ìbàdàn.
You heard the governor there. So Tunde Onafuwa,
Is that still semantics?
No,
are you to do with semantics?
no. Semantically looking at the matter, the governor has taken a clear and decisive position.
He was categorical.
And he was very categorical about it. I think that the wisdom that has guided those affected to say we will abide by the governor is good wisdom.
They had, on my own timeline, that's the word I've seen a lot of people say. That
Is
just wisdom for them to say.
Because the alternative
something else will happen.
Because the Gazette is also very clear. You cannot be Olubado unless the governor
appoints.
He must approve.
He must approve.
The process is even
and
clear.
then approval can be 2 days.
Or 10 years.
It could also be 10 years.
Okay, so let's rest this case here.
Use wisdom, oh.
Yeah, so that case is rested. But whoever wants to make comment about it, you have free to do that. But I don't want us to gloss over the matter. I saw a comment by Shitu Adio here that I don't want us to gloss over. He said, my guests are still talking over the issues. Let them tell citizens how their perfect candidates will emerge and how they will win election in 2023. What do you want us to benefit from these discussions? One of your guests said he's hoping that 2023 election will not be between Asiwaju and Atiku. So, is the 2023 going to be on hope, be realistic, guys, and face reality? So, I want us to quickly discuss this. Are we actually talking about perfect candidates?
No.
I don't think so.
No, we've never talked about
We're not
perfect.
talking about perfect candidates.
I don't think there's any.
So,
anyway.
as I said, let's anchor that issue. What kind of candidates and how should they emerge? We've never had a situation where we don't have choices. In the last election, there was Mogalu, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there were other candidates.
That was Fela Durotoye.
There was
Showore.
On that ballot.
Yeah.
So there was not a time where we do not have other options.
They're just always leading candidates.
Exactly.
That's the word.
Exactly. America doesn't like the idea of leading candidates.
Because
Like
it is what it is.
Now.
so
It is what it is.
But you have leading candidates.
You always will have leading candidates anywhere in the world.
How will the candidate that will inspire the future, how will such a candidate emerge?
It will be a tough call. That's the word I will use. Considering the existing political landscape of Nigeria.
Okay.
Yes, by virtue of the current structure that is in place, it's a bit hard. But you see, we cannot also lose hope in the fact that these things do happen, even in climes where it is not expected to be so. I'd say that the political system, even in the United States of America, one wouldn't have thought that at the time Barack Obama became the presidential candidate in America, that there was a chance for a black man to be there. As the system was never structured to bring a black man in, but it happened. And it happened and started somewhere. Now we have a vice president who is a woman. Their system was not designed as such in the first place as well. Their system was designed and they started tweaking things. It means that in 2023, even people within the parties that are, let me say, the bigger parties or the biggest parties, things can begin to change gradually. But it's still going to be tough with the kind of money politics we play in Nigeria.
Tunde said that. Tunde, thank you for that. Let me hold you and bring Tunde in. Tunde Olawo said that we are speaking to the political parties. What are you saying to the political parties here?
The political parties, and the interesting thing is that they are also listening. So, this program is being listened to by thousands and millions of people. So let nobody think that we are just talking to ourselves. The point is that the system can throw up decent candidates.
Absolutely.
It will have to happen via consensus of the elites, the kingmakers.
Within the party.
And you can already see, this is somebody I would not like to reference, but I will still reference him for this purpose. when former military president General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida was talking about his own preference. He gave certain description. He said somebody who is probably in his early 60s, you know, who is who has a strong understanding of the economy, who has friends all over the country. You know, he said some things. That is his opinion.
Yeah.
But are you also going to say that IBB's opinion does not matter? I think he also qualifies as one of the kingmakers in Nigeria.
Elder statesman.
Yes. He attends Council of State meetings. He used to, at least.
And he understands the issues.
And he understands the issues. So when we are talking, we're not saying go and pick one random person walking on the streets and make him president. It doesn't happen like that anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
But we are saying that
He was a senator.
Within these political parties, all of them, the very big ones, the ones that are just, you know, fighting to stay in the system, there are 1,001 highly qualified candidates who
that
can also be propped up to become something. Even the so-called kingmaker can also get to the realization at some point that, look, even though I deserve this, I've worked for this, but I can find somebody who is better at this time to carry out this thing. So we are not discussing something. We are not discussing utopia.
It's not abstract.
We are saying that within this system, there are people. We're not saying perfect or saint or anything. No,
we can find House of Rep members who are already within the structure of the parties. We can find senators who are already within the structure of the parties that probably can pull this off. Because at the end of the day, whoever is still going to lead Nigeria will be a human being and will be a Nigerian. Because we are not saying that what we want is to bring somebody from outside Nigeria who is not a Nigerian, who we think is the ideal candidate to come and rule. No, that's not the idea. The idea is within this system. This system has enough decent people.
Nobody becomes anything in Nigeria without being thrown up by the system.
It's simple. It's like that.
Somebody like the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Debo Goodwin, do you think he just became the Speaker?
No.
Was anybody talking about him 4 years ago?
No.
I mean, we knew
being the Speaker.
We knew, even being in the House.
That was true.
We knew the events that happened
that brought him
into the House, and then what happens afterwards? Today is the Speaker. So the system can throw different people up. Let us also not be fixated that it must be this
or that.
These
things are not even mutually exclusive. So if we look at it.
So you see the two things that Tunde Olawo and Tunde Onakoya have said. Let me tell you, I agree completely that it is possible. But you see why it has been very difficult to realize? It has been difficult because the political parties in Nigeria are not really forward-thinking. They're not asking questions about. There's a problem in this country. As a political party, who do we have a specialist who can help us to organize this thing
amongst us?
That's why. So they're basically just doing compensationalism, basically to say, you gave us money when we were campaigning. Okay, it's now your own turn. That's what we are doing. We're not saying in 20. See, someone, I'm not going to mention the name. Is our mutual friend. He said that there was a time that even during Trump's administration, that America, they chose people in America, people in government, to sit down together and say, in 20 years' time, what would be the state of US in the political space? And everybody, including the Democratic and the Republicans, sat down together.
Towards that.
You understand? That is what we are not doing. See, these parties can sit down and say, by 2050, there are so many postulations about 2050.
Yes.
2050, Nigeria's population this, 2050, GDP will be this. So no political party is thinking, okay, they say that we are going to be 300 million in 2050. What are we going to do? So who will help us? We're not thinking. That's why we are still throwing up the usuals.
Okay, so thank you, gentlemen. I mean, I don't want to belabor that. This has taken over something I wanted to do, but I'll still do a bit of it. I hope we are going to wish Yemi Alabi, happy birthday, all of you. Maybe wish her happy birthday. What do you say?
To a firepower. That's what she is. A very socially conscious person who wants better for her society and is willing to throw her hat in the ring when it matters to say we will wrestle. Yes, where she will. Yeah. Yes, she's. I'm no. Where I'm coming from there is that when she needs to actively participate in the solution.
To know if she has declared.
No, she hasn't. She has not categorically told
the president.
So she's still consulting. So she's somebody who is ready to be physically active in the solution, and that is something you rarely find in people. We all make noise and criticize, and for that I wish her very well. I pray for her to live long enough to see the change she really wants in society, for her, for her children, and I pray that this will be the beginning of her best years.
One sentence.
Okay, I celebrate you today. You know, you are an active and a patriotic Nigerian. I wish you all the best on this day.
Michael.
Yemi Alabi is been a friend, you know, way back.
Your Aluta days.
The Aluta days. We used to do Aluta University in those days. Congratulations to Yemi Alabi. She is an unassuming philanthropist. I know that, and she's someone who is so passionate about this country. I know that as well. May men and angels sing your song.
And please declare as soon as possible. Tunde seems to have given.
We are going, but the Grim Reaper came to town and took Christopher Alawa Akala away to allow a word for him.
Well, my heart goes straight to his family, his wives, children, grandchildren, his political family as well. He's our former governor, and he did his very best. He's been described by so many people as a generous and kind-hearted person. So, our condolences.
Thank you very much, Michael.
Well, we were in his house in 23rd of January 2021. Welcomed us, and we had no holds barred interview. That interview, I played part of it this afternoon, made some very, very fundamental statements about governance. Oh, Miss Akala, the Oyato governor.
Yes, doctor. I think he also has a doctor. Honorary doctor.
There's also
or
two of the source or something.
Yes. I think Oyo State is going to miss him. We are all going to miss him, especially the spice he brings to politics and politicking in the state. In fact, I think my heart goes out more to the APC family in Oyo State that has actually it's a big blow to that family.
The governor described him as the most experienced politician in Oyo State,
by virtue of his achievements, being a local government. He was a police officer. He was a local government chairman of Algon, deputy governor. I think he deserves all the accolades.
Thank you all.
And
he is now we have Ladoja as the only surviving Fourth Republic governor of Oyo State.
Fourth Republic.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you very much, everyone, for being part of this program. My name is Oluwaseun Omakiola. I thank Michael, Tunde Olawu, and Tunde Onakoya for coming.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. And everyone, thank you for being there. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.
Splash FM 105.5.
Hello Báyọ̀, ojú ọ̀nà márosẹ̀ yẹn ni mo wà báyìí. Níbẹ̀ lọkọ̀ mi dẹnu kọlẹ̀ sí. Kódà mi ò ní.
Dákun, ọ lówó pé tó tó láti tẹ̀síwájú pẹ̀lú pé yìí.
Rárá o, kò jẹ́jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀.
Kí nìdí?
Ìpè yìí ṣe pàtàkì gan-an ni.
Ó bá ti rìsáàjì ń gbà náà.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, ṣùgbọ́n mi ò sí níbi tí mo ti lè rìsáàjì báyìí.
Ó ṣe kúkú yáwó pè lẹ́ǹkan.
Yáwó ìpè kẹ̀ báwo?
Pẹ̀lú Glow Borrow Me Credit, o lè yáwó pé kó o sì san padà lẹ́yìn náà. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ló rọrùn. Ìwọ sá ti pè star 321# kó o sì jẹ́ láṣẹ bẹ́ẹ̀.
Lóòótọ́, ó ti lọ wà jù.
Glow ń dúró ti ni nígbà tó jà jùlọ.
Báyọ̀, bí mo ṣe ń sọ lọ, ọkọ̀ mi dẹnu kọlẹ̀ níbi.
Sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí, sanwó lẹ́yìn náà pẹ̀lú Glow Borrow Me Credit.
Glow Unlimited.
Feed their amazing with Golden Penny Amazing Day Instant Cereal. Amazing Day contains the power of 4 for strong bones, sharp eyes, and a healthy belly. Golden Penny Amazing Day Instant Cereal. Feed their amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, is it possible to order one plate of food and get a buffet? No way. No way. Can you pay for a one-bedroom flat and they give you a mansion? Not possible. Okay. Can you upgrade your DSTV package and get boosted to a higher package?
Well, yes! We know that offer!
That's right. Get more than you bargained for with DSTV Step Up. Upgrade now